What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Comic Aussie. Today is probably my last video of 2022. And I thought I would just do a little recap and revisit my wish list, my want list from 2022. And then go into some thoughts for the next year, 2023. And I think I'm gonna do away with the whole top 10 list, and I'll explain why I'm gonna be doing that later on in the video. But I think I did pretty well, all things considered. I do have my list here. I'll go through it. I physically have some of the books here. Some of the books on the list have come into the PC, and then they have left for a number of different reasons, and I'll explain why that has happened and why I kept the books that I did. So my list from 2022, my first one was Fantastic Four 50. Next was Iron Fist 14, Journey into Mystery Annual 1, Thor 129, Thor 165, Thor 168. A little bit of theme there. Aliens 1, Star Wars, first one 42, X-Men 10, and then the Wolverine limited series, the Frank Miller run. So from that list, I pretty much had all those books come into the PC except for one. The only one that didn't make the list was Thor 165, and that's further down the list. So I'll just run down what I have here with me, and then I will either put up a photo. The other ones have come and gone. So first book, and this was actually the first book that I picked up in 2022, Fantastic Four 50, and this lovely 4.5. I got it from Comic Book Addiction. Steve over there has a great shop. I bought a number of books from him, and I was happy to grab that. At some point, I would love to get a bit of higher grade and trade that up at some particular point in time, along with my FF 49 that I did get as well. And one of the books that I actually picked up in that, I'm calling it the Highlander collection, and I recently got back, and as a book I've always kind of wanted to have in the PC, is Iron Fist 14, First Sabretooth. So it did come back. It came back as a 7.0. At some point, I would like to probably get a higher grade in this and then just upgrade that one. So that's a fantastic book. Next, so I had come into the collection and then sort of make its way out. It's Thor 129. I'll put a picture up there. Just a number of first appearances in terms of the Greek gods, Hera, Ares, Artemis. It was just a fantastic book. I did find it at an LCS, and then at some particular point, I picked it up, and then it went in one of my Whatnot sales, I guess, a while ago. Another book. Oh, this is the book that I didn't get. The only book that I didn't get on the list is Thor 165. First appearance of him, later to be known as Warlock. There are a few chances to get this book, but the price just wasn't right. And that kind of leads into my thoughts for 2023. It just didn't fit, and I didn't, take the chance to pick it up. At some point in time, if the opportunity does arise, I will probably grab it. It's a pretty cool book. I'm a big fan of Warlock, Space Jesus, so I would love to, have a copy of that book. All right, next one is Thor 168, and this awesome Kirby cover, Origin of Galactus, First Thermal Man. I do have another copy raw. At some point, I'd probably like to upgrade this maybe to a 7.0. But this 5.5 looks really, really nice. Colors are great, but just a cool Galactus cover. I'm just a big fan of Thor, and I'm a big fan of Galactus, so that is a great book to have. I do have a copy of 169, which is also another awesome Thor Galactus cover. All right, guys, another book. I've actually had 3 copies of this come through the PC. Aliens 1, and again, I'll put a picture of that book. The copies that kind of did come through were great. They weren't, I don't say they're worthy of sending off. Two of them were. I just felt that the PC was better suited to have it come in and then work its way out, and then just use those funds to get into something else. I'm a big fan of that movie, so it kind of needs to come back into the PC. Maybe I'll just buy a graded copy. I don't know. Again, it's just going to be about the opportunity that presents itself. All right, guys, the next book, and I picked this up from a live claim sale, Instagram live claim sale. I think it was Mark's Comics or something. I'll put it in the description in the video. I was just grabbing some other books. He had this, and I was like, hey, will you take that price for this? And I was like, sure. I wasn't too finicky, I guess, for the grade. I just kind of wanted to have it in the PC. But when this book arrived, it looks really nice. It's an 8.0, so Star Wars 42 First of Boba Fett. I'm a big fan of Boba Fett, so I was happy to have this book in the PC. It'll probably kind of stay where it is. I'm just happy to have it. Maybe if I find a higher grade and I can upgrade, I definitely will. All right, guys. Not too many books left. This book I got. It's a bit of a sad story with this book, and I'll explain why. I went up to see Steve at Comic Book Addiction. I was picking up a Marvel Spotlight 5. He had a nice copy. And while I was there, I picked up this book, which was on my top 10 list. First, I'll explain what this book is. So, I'm also a big fan of this character, Ka-Zar. So what I have here is X-Men 10, first Silver Age appearance of Ka-Zar. I guess the introduction of Savage Land and of his sidekick, Zabu. Tiger, right there. When I was at Steve's shop, picking up my Marvel Spotlight 5, he had this, and I was like, hey, can I offer you this? And he was nice enough to part ways with us. I love this 6.0. It looks great. It'll probably stay like this. If I do find a nicer copy, maybe I'll upgrade. But before I get to the last book, that Marvel Spotlight 5 is in limbo right now. So what happened with it, I found a nicer copy. I traded up. We made the trade, sent the book, funds paid, and it was a 7.5. It was CBCS, and I took the chance to send it right off to get cracked CPR, crack, press, and clean, and resubmit. It got a bump. It was either an 8 or an 8.5. I still kind of don't know. Still a bit of a mystery, but it made its way back to my presser, and then he sent it to me. As of right now, it is in limbo. It is somewhere lost in the mail, so I'm hoping it gets found. But that is how this has a little bit of a tie into this book. All right, guys, last book, and is going to be, I'm just going to call it 4 books. So I wanted to get, and the goal was not just to get this book, but to get this book in a 9.8. Not just to get this book in a 9.8, but to get all 4 books in a 9.8. And what is that book? Well, it is this awesome 4-issue limited series, Frank Miller, Wolverine 1. So I finally, just recently, yesterday, picked up a copy of this in 9.8. I do have a 9.6, and I'll grab it. It's right here. Do have this lovely 9.6 newsstand, but for some reason I had in my head I wanted to get a 9.8, and I did. Picked it up from Paradise Comics, just north of me. Along the way this year, I grabbed number 2 in 9.8 from Paradise Comics. I got this one, number 3 in 9.8, and I think I got this one from A1 Comics, number 4 in 9.8. So, pretty happy with that. So that's the list. The only book I didn't get was Thor 165. I think I did pretty well. So, I'm not going to have a top 10 wish list for 2023. And here's why. I've realized along this year that the books of interest are more about the opportunity that presents itself. There's so many books that I really, really love to have in the PC. What I'm going to do for 2023 is seek out those opportunities for a good deal, however that may arise. If it's through a live claim sale, if it's through an auction, Heritage, Comic Link, Comic Connect, etc. So I'm going to keep it that way. And then when 2023 is over, I'm just going to revisit some of those awesome books that I picked up in that particular point in time. I'll give a story where I grabbed it, possibly the deal that presented itself. So yeah, my collecting habits style has kind of changed over this year, which is great. It's been more about presenting opportunities and seizing those opportunities when I can. So yeah, I'm not going to have a top 10 list for this year. I'm just going to have all the awesome books that I did pick up, hopefully in this upcoming year. So that's it, guys. Last video of the year. I hope everybody has a fantastic end to 2022. I hope all your comic book dreams and wishes come true in the following year. You guys have made it a ton of fun. I've met so many great people, fostered so many friendships. It has been an awesome year for the channel, for my Instagram page, and also for my Whatnot sales. I can't begin to describe how amazing it has been for that experience. Again, the people that I've met, the books that I have found new homes for, it's been fantastic. So it's been a great year. Hope everybody has a great New Year's celebration, and I will see everybody in 2023. Take care, and cheers, everybody.